What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this week we have a few things to discuss as far as news goes. I'm fixing to mention a couple of YouTubers. We're going to talk about them here in just a moment. I don't know if you've heard of these two YouTubers or not, but I warned YouTubers that I was going to start calling them out on their shit when they make shit up and they blatantly lie about crap, when they don't use facts and they just make shit up. The first one is called Alfo Media. Not sure if you've heard of him or not, but I ran across one of this guy's videos and I wasn't thinking anything about it. You know, it was a harmless video about, you know, he didn't know much about heavy metal and he wanted to know what constituted as heavy metal and what bands should he listen to, because he was starting to get into heavy metal. He was claiming he's more of a you know, R&B or rap and, you know, hip hop, you know, that kind of genre. Mainly gangster rap is what he apparently liked. Anyways, it was a harmless video, but he was trying to delve into like hardcore metal, like death metal and crap like that right off the bat, which was dumb, but you can't ease someone into heavy metal that way, you know. Now he did choose Metallica as one of those he really liked, which their earlier stuff I would consider heavy metal. Most of their stuff after the Black Album, it became like mainstream hard rock instead of actual heavy metal. But anyways, that's besides the point. It was the next video that I watched of his that really got under my skin. It got on my nerves. I saw the caption. It was something called everything wrong with white rappers. And I'm like, what's wrong with them, you know? So I clicked on the, just as curious to see what he had to say. And he just goes on and on about what he calls white privilege and token male rappers, or white male rappers, and that you know, everybody hypes up on them because it's white America. It was very racist, actually. It was a pretty racist video. And I thought, oh, this guy must be black, you know. Come to find out, no, it's a white guy who's trashing white people, you know. And I'm like, whoa, I'm surprised he hasn't been flagged for this video. It's so racist. But he's gone on and on about there are no good white rappers, blah blah blah, that they're all token white rappers, you know, they get all the attention, blah blah blah, because it's white America and all the white people vote for them at the Grammys and blah blah blah. And okay, so, and then he's trying to talk about how Eminem has the best record-selling albums of all time because he's the token white rapper. And I'm like, what the hell? First of all, Eminem has some best-selling albums. There's no doubt about it. As far as the rap genre goes. Now, the reason for this is the first few albums he sold, you know, they were big because he was attacking the celebrities, you know, Hollywood. You know, he was all about, you know, calling them out for their bullshit. That's why he blew up and became so popular. It had nothing to do with his skin color. It wasn't because he was white. Eminem has got talent. I don't like Eminem personally. I think he's a douchebag. But he does have talent. He can rap. There's no question about that. I'm not defending Eminem. I'm just saying, you know, the guy does have talent. You know, I don't like Eminem. I really don't. You know, I liked a few of his rap songs in the beginning, but as time went on, after 2000s, he just got retarded. So, you know, and he joined the Hollywood elite and became, you know, very leftist, you know, political and crap like that, and he just got retarded. So I actually can't stand Eminem anymore. Anyways, he's like, there's no good white rappers. This Alfo Media dude, he's like, there's no good white rappers. They all suck. Blah, blah, blah. He says, I only know of two that was actually any good. And he's claiming that, yo, he's been listening to rap for like 15 years or better, blah, 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 most of his life. You know, so he knows a lot of rap groups, and he's rap culture and all that crap. Like, he knows everything about rap history and blah, blah, blah. And he's all like, there's only two white rappers that are any good. One of them's a new one named Josh something. I don't know. I don't know who the guy is. I've never heard of him. And the other guy I'd never heard of either. And he claimed he would, you know, he's been around for years and years, you know, and he's just now getting recognized, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you know, that the same thing happened to Kid Rock. You know, he was originally, you know, he did a lot of rap and nobody knew who he was, and he'd been in the business for years and years and years. It took a long time for him to finally get registered. You know, it happens. In the rap genre, white guys have the hardest time trying to, or white rappers, sorry, they just have the hardest time trying to get in that genre because it's mainly a black-dominated music genre. And he's all like, there's only two good ones, blah, blah, blah. And this new guy, I thought he sucked. But he threw up a couple of pictures of like Adam Calhoun, Machine Gun Kelly, and Tom McDonald, which are big white rappers who's been making a name for themselves, especially here lately. There's been a lot of white rappers. I've seen several videos with a lot of good white rappers, which are taking the genre by storm. They're blowing up, all these white rappers. But anyways, you know, he's claiming how none of them are worth your time, blah, blah, blah. You know, yeah, they suck. But just because they're white. And I'm like, dude, they've got talent. What are you talking about? They can rap. They're really good. You're an idiot. This guy's an idiot. I I just want to comment on call him on his bullshit. He's claiming how they all have white privilege and blah blah blah, you know, and I'm like, it's literally been disproven. White privilege does not exist. I'm sorry, it doesn't. You can bitch and moan and whine all you want to about it. It doesn't exist. White people struggle just as bad as anybody else. And he's talking about how, you know, that there's never been any good white rappers that ever come up in the field except for this one guy he claims he's just now getting recognition. I'm like, whatever, dude. You didn't mention Third Base. You didn't mention In Too Deep. You didn't mention Beastie Boys. You know, none of these guys. You know how hard it was for them to get in the rap genre, because, like I said, it's mainly black dominated. And he's just going on and on about all this racist crap. So I'm just giving you fair warning. If you know this Alfo Media dude, or you run across him, ignore him. In fact, I wouldn't even view, this guy's an idiot. He knows nothing about rap history or rap culture. He's a moron. Don't give him 2 cents worth. He's one of those SJW white knight people, the soy boy generation. He thinks he's got to defend black people, blah, 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 He's an idiot. He's dumb. He has no idea what he's talking about. Most of here's the truth. Most of your black rappers today, they mumble rap. And it sucks. I don't like him at all. I hate Drake with a passion. I can't stand him at all. Drake sucks. His music's terrible. Terrible. Just most of your black rappers today, they're terrible. I used to like Jay-Z when he first came out, but then he joined the Hollywood elite club and became real far leftist and blah blah blah. He got all politicized. Anytime anyone joins the Hollywood elite, I just can't stand them anymore because they're dumb. They're idiots. All his new stuff sucks anyway. That's why I'm saying most of your rapper, mainly your black rappers today, they suck. Generally they're mumble rapping and talking about going and shooting people and finding hoes at the club and crap like that. Nobody wants to hear that bullshit. Stop it. Stop it. Seriously. I suggest you go check out Adam Calhoun. You go check out Tom McDonald. These are really good rappers. And they have a serious message behind their music. Adam Calhoun, maybe you've seen the music video Racism or whatever that he does. It's really good. It's the truth. It's really what's going on. Same with Tom McDonald. He raps about what's really going on. Check him out. Anyways, moving on. Enough of Alfo Media. I would completely abolish this dude if I was you. He's an idiot. He knows nothing. Alright. The next cat we're going to get on to, and I like this YouTuber, but I'm calling him out on his BS because he really got dumb on this one. Maybe you've heard of him. His name is The Amazing Lucas. If you watch this video, you're more than happy to point this video out to him. Amazing Lucas. He's funny. I like watching the video because it's pretty funny. There's been a couple of times where I've disagreed with him on some things, but most of the time I usually agree with him. He's pretty right on about most of the things he's talking about. However, just recently he did this video based on this case about some guy named Nathaniel Woods who was executed because he got convicted of being not accomplice, but an accessory to murder. And there were some Hollywood people going on over about it, blah, 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 you know, saying that's not right, he shouldn't have been executed, that he was innocent. Well, I'm sorry, but he wasn't innocent. I mean, if you look at the case, you know, the guy wasn't innocent. He had a rap sheet a mile long. Do I believe he should have been executed for the crime that was supposed to have been committed? No. I do agree with Amazing Lucas on that one. You know, the whole situation was, and I've seen a lot of people jump on Amazing Lucas for this. They were all, you know, how can you say he was, didn't deserve to be, I don't think he deserved to be executed either. I do believe he should have been in jail. He should have gotten arrested. He should have been put in jail. But he didn't pull the trigger. He didn't kill these cops that supposedly went in after him inside a known drug house. They chased him inside a known drug house, not knowing who all was in there, and blah, blah, blah. And they got shot by another dude that was in there. Now, the whole situation was the cops supposedly had drummed up a warrant for his arrest. He had a warrant. However, it was a warrant that was up to term limit or whatever. You know, it no longer should have been in the system. You know, it was done. But they found it and they used it to try to go in there and get him and arrest him. Now, there had been controversy over this is all a drug thing. The cops were bad cops. You know, they had dealings with the drug house. They knew about it, blah, blah, blah. They were in on it, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. There was corruption going on in the department with these cops. Anyways, the situation was they come up with this warrant. They go confront Woods. They went inside after him because he told them to screw off, and they were calling obscenities at the cops. Him and this other guy that were in the house, named Spencer or some crap like that. But anyways, they went in after him, knowing that it's a known drug house. 3 of them got shot and killed by this Spencer guy, and the 4th one, he lived. But they finally arrested Woods and Spencer, and they convicted Woods as a accessory to homicide or murder or whatever, and they executed him. Before they even have executed Spencer, who is the guy who pulled the trigger, who actually killed them. Now, I agree he shouldn't have been executed. Okay, he didn't pull the trigger. He didn't kill these cops. I also agree with Lucas when he says, you know, even though the cop's job is to protect and to serve, you know, they're supposed to rush into dangerous situations. They can't be, I mean, they can be afraid, but they have to go in anyway. That's their job. but they don't need to do it stupidly. You know, they also want to take into account, they want to protect their own men. You know, especially a sergeant who's in charge of you know, other men that's working for the police department. You want to go in a situation where you're prepared. These guys weren't prepared. They just ran in there. It's a known drug house. They just ran up in there after this dude to get arrested. Knowing that there are probably weapons in there, and there might be, and they knew there was somebody else in there, you know, that, you know, potentially could cause harm. But they didn't surround the perimeter. They didn't call for backup or none of that crap. There's a lot of fishiness going on with the case and the judge, and they think there's some corruption going on. For some reason, they wanted this Woods guy dead, blah blah blah. I don't know about all that, but I agree with Lucas on the fact that they should have prepared before going up in there. If they knew it was a drug house, that there's probably weapons and other people in there who could cause harm. But anyways, enough of that. I'm not even calling out Lucas on that particular case. I could care less about the case. It was a simple fact. There's one point, if you watch the video, at one point in time, he says that he's talking about something about the prosecutor claims that a witness said that they were yelling something about the N-word, okay? That they were calling other black people the N-word, these black guys. And amazing Lucas just went and said, come on, man, like he does, you know, come on, my guy, you know, they don't do that. Black people don't do that. They don't call themselves the N-word. And I'm like, dude, you're full of fucking shit. You're seriously full of shit. I was like, I seriously thought about getting a compilation video of like all the black people that I've seen, like World Star, certain black celebrities, television shows, where they call themselves that. You know, and he's like, oh, no, they change it. They say, you know, AS, not ERS. You know, I was like, dude, you just because you change how it's pronounced or how it's spelled, it is the same freaking meaning. It has the same damn definition. And you're a retard if you don't believe that. You're a dumbass. Seriously. You know, I love Lucas. I love watching his videos, but I'm calling him out on his shit. Because he's literally saying that black people don't call themselves the N-word. And I'm like, you're full of fucking shit. You're full of baloney. And anytime, if you guys do watch Lucas, I want you to call him out on that shit. Say, no, you're full of baloney. Bring it up every time you comment on him or something, you know. Just bring that up. You're full of shit. Anyways, I just thought it was funny, and I told him, you know, I told you guys I'd start calling out YouTubers on their bullshit. And no, he wasn't doing it as a joke. He was being serious. And I was like, no, you're an idiot. They do call themselves that. It's the same definition. It means, yeah, are you going to walk up to someone? I'm not going to go up to my friends or my loved ones and go, hey, you punk ass bitch. Because that's literally what you're saying when you say that to one another. You punk ass bitch. This is my punk ass bitch. Because that word basically means you're a punk. The N-word. You're dirty. You're like shady. That kind of thing. Look up the definition. You're an idiot, Lucas. You're an idiot. I love you, dude, but you're an idiot. Seriously. Okay, moving on. I did watch a couple of newer releases. Now, one of them has been for a little while, not real long, maybe a year, I think, or two. I don't know, maybe longer. I'm not sure. But I saw there was a sequel coming out, so I thought, okay, I'll watch it just because I know there's a sequel coming that's come out, and I'll check it out. Why was it good enough to make a sequel? And it's called The Boy, about that little creepy doll or whatever. I watched it. I was very disappointed. It wasn't a bad movie per se. I was just disappointed because the doll is not really a ghost doll, or you know, like there's a ghost or spirit inhabited in it. A spoiler alert, it was actually a guy, or the kid had grown up and now he's living in the walls. Or maybe it wasn't the kid. I don't know. It really doesn't define if that was actually the kid or not. I think it was, but it doesn't really specifically say that that's what it was. It was the kid. You know, the story is, you know, the kid died, and you know, the parents, you know, they find babysitters for this doll or whatever. So they bring in an American girl to take care of the doll, but the parents leave. They don't want to go back because the boy is actually grown up and living in the walls. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Anyways, they've made a sequel to it. It's an okay movie. I was just, like I said, I was a little disappointed because the doll wasn't really a haunted object or something. I was like, that sucks. Anyways, moving on. The latest one that I actually seen was It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. You know, Mr. Rogers, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is an amazing actor. He always has been. He made a really good Mr. Rogers, I admit. You know, not perfect, but he was pretty good. However, again, I was really disappointed because I thought it was about his life story, like his biography, you know, him as a kid and him growing up, kind of like Forrest Gump, that kind of scene. So yeah, I thought it was going to be more like that, but it wasn't really, you know, a lifelong story biography about him. Excuse me. Instead, it was about this freaking reporter dude who was doing some type of magazine article on him. Which really sucked because I could care less about this writer, magazine writer or whatever. I didn't care about listening to him. I wanted to know about Mr. Rogers. It really wasn't about him. Now, he played a pretty decent Mr. Rogers, Tom Hanks did. Not perfect, but he wasn't bad. It was a good movie. It really was. It just, I was extremely disappointed. I was really irritated that it wasn't about Mr. Rogers. It was about this reporter guy, which I cared less about. Because it basically went over his life problems, what's going on in his life. And I was like, who cares? Now, there was a couple of scenes in the movie, spoiler alert for any of you who haven't seen it. There was a couple of scenes that made it seem creepy. Like the old man creepy mentality. Because they made it to where, you know, he was kind of like he was a bit of a loon. He was having some mental problems. Two in particular scenes. There was more. Just a few. There was just a few of them, but there was two in particular scenes that I know of that really creeped me out, and some of the people that was watching it with me. The first one that I really remember really well, really vividly, was they're in his apartment about halfway through the movie, Mr. Rogers, and he's pulling out these or hotel room or something. Anyway, he pulls out these dolls from the show, and he's all like, you know, would you like to see my dolls? Blah 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 blah, you know, and he's being all creepy when he does it, and he's putting on these dolls and acting all weird. He's being weird, really weird and creepy. It was just a really awkward, you know, like you're in an awkward situation. That's what it felt like. Like you wanted to run out of there. Anyways, that's one of them, and the other one, which was some Twilight Zone shit. I'm telling you. He's sitting in a restaurant with this writer dude, and he says, let's just take a minute to ourselves and be very quiet. A minute of silence, please. He's saying it loud enough to where the whole restaurant can hear him. They all know he's there. Anyways, he gets real quiet, and they just kind of stare at each other. It was kind of creepy. And all of a sudden, the whole restaurant, they just stopped moving and talking. So you could hear a pin drop. The entire restaurant, the restaurant was packed full of people. Like I said, it was really creepy, like a Twilight Zone kind of episode, you know, feel, vibe. Really weird, strange. Like I said, there's some parts of that movie was just really, really bizarre. But anyway, there's other scenes. That was just the two I remember pretty well. I thought was very creepy. Anyways, it was a good movie. Oh, you know what? I've seen people where they've taken like YouTube videos where people have taken like regular movies and chopped them up to make it seem like a horror trailer for a new horror movie or something like that. Man, if any of you people that do that watch this video, it'd be really neat to see you chop up Mr. Rogers, the movie for Mr. Rogers, and make it seem like a horror flick, because it would work. It really would. Some of the scenes in this movie, creepy. Anyways, it was a good movie. Just really irritated, disappointed that it was not about Mr. Rogers and his biography. You know, the trailer was very misleading. Okay, that's enough news for this week. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, this week we are, all you movie holics, we're back to doing Horror Week. This is Horror Week again. So I got a couple horror flicks for you that I watched and I'm giving you a review on. The first one, you've probably, well, some of you might have heard of this one. It's called Shocker, and it was done in 1989. It starred Peter Berg, and for your female lead, it was Camilla Cooper. These were the two high school kids in the movie, or that was their part. He was the boyfriend, she was the girlfriend. And then the main guy, or the main star, was Mitch Pileggi, which, you know, he's better known for like X-Files. He played Agent Skinner, the Fox and Mulder's boss. He's also been in Stargate Atlantis. He played one of the colonels that was like the captain of one of the ships that was going from between Milky Way and Pegasus Galaxy. Anyways, he's done a lot. He's done a lot of TV stuff. But he's done several films too. He's in Return of the Living Dead Part 2. He's a great actor. I really like this actor because he plays such a great asshole or dickhead, and that's usually the roles he usually does. He's so good at it. But anyways, the movie at the box office made about 17 million. It didn't do like phenomenal or anything. It just did it was okay for the box office. Anyways, the story basically is this movie was done by Wes Craven. Everyone's heard that name before because he's did the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. You know, Freddy Krueger. Anyways, at the time he did this, he'd already done several movies with Freddy Krueger, about Freddy Krueger, so I think he was trying to break away from the whole Freddy Krueger thing, trying something new and different. The story of this particular movie was, you have a serial killer. He's going around killing families. The cops can't catch him. This foster kid, not really so much adopted, but he's more of a foster kid. He has dreams where he could see the killer. And he describes him to his foster father, which happens to be a cop, a lieutenant on the police force. Anyways, at some point in time in the movie, the serial killer, which is Mitch Pileggi, he plays Horst Pinker, which is the serial killer. He's already killed several families. The kid has a dream about him killing his foster family, except for the father, the cop. But he sees Horst Pinker kill the other members of the foster family. I think a couple of kids and the mother. And he tells his father about it, that he had a dream about it. His father doesn't believe him. But he literally leads his father straight to the bad guy, Horst Pinker. But Horst Pinker escapes and kills a bunch of cops when he does it. They eventually track him down. They capture him. They put him in prison. He waits for the death row. Just before he goes to be put in the chair to be executed, he does this little ritual, like voodoo witchcraft type ritual, and he hooks himself up with cable wires to, like jumper cables or something, to a TV, and this, what looks like a spirit or ghost, enters his body, but it doesn't kill him. Even though he electrocutes himself, it doesn't kill him. The jail guards go ahead and grab him anyway because he's still alive, and they take him to the chair. Anyways, he gets electrocuted, but he's still breathing after they electrocute him. When they go in to check on him, he breaks free, the lights shut off. Excuse me. The lights shut off, and he kills a bunch of guards, and they go chasing after him, except for the kid and his dad. All the other guards and police officers go chasing after him. They actually find Pinker behind a door, but he's not. It's just his body. Like, he's not there. He falls to the floor, the body falls to the floor, and it bursts into flames, and he just kind of like disappears, kind of like Jedi moving into the Force, you know, that kind of thing, you know, but with flames. Anyways, he come to find out, Horse Pinker now can possess people. He can jump from body to body, which he does. The kid finds out that Horse Pinker was actually his real biological dad, and that's why he has such a strong connection to him. But Horse Pinker tries to kill him. And he's constantly chasing him around in different people's bodies trying to kill him. He kills his girlfriend. She becomes like this ghost spirit who has this necklace that he can use to kind of like a cross. It makes Horse Pinker, he can't stand it, can't take it or whatever, and he runs away every time he sees it. Anyways, the kid has an idea. He notices that he's using the energy of people. After he drains them of energy, he has to find another body. So he realizes it has something to do with electricity. Horse Pinker gets into the TV and he thinks, well, I'll just trap him inside the TV. I'll trick him and trap him inside my TV. Basically is the way he comes up. There's this big elaborate fight scene where they're going through TV stations, blah 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 blah, because now they're both inside the TV. He uses a little necklace or whatever from his dead girlfriend to go after Horse Pinker in the TV. He escapes, the kid escapes, but Horse Pinker gets trapped inside the TV. The TV kind of, it doesn't really blow up. It just, you know, the front part of it gets broken, and Horse Pinker's trapped in there, but you can still hear him talking. And that's basically the end of the movie. It was pretty cheesy, but at the same time, you know, it was a good movie. I loved it. It was awesome. You know, the 80s had the best B-rated movies, as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, it was a good movie to watch. It wasn't really scary. It was pretty. There's parts in it that's pretty funny. So if you like that kind of thing, you know, you like B-rated cheese movies, you know, from the 80s, definitely give it a try. I give it 2 thumbs up. Really good movie. The next one I'm going to talk about, I've never heard of before, and it's really hard to find. It's hard to find any information on it, actually. Not too hard, but it is a little bit harder because it's called The Dark Tower. Well, not The Dark Tower, just Dark Tower. And it was done in 1987. I couldn't find any box office. It's started Michael Moriarty. Whoever named this, gave this kid the last name Moriarty, you know, or the guy Moriarty. Yeah, I mean, his parents must have been really into Sherlock Holmes or something. Anyways, and it starred, for female lead, it started Jen Agutter, which she was pretty hot back then. I have to admit, she was. Back then, man, she was hot. But anyways, when I tried to do an information search on this particular movie, naturally I kept getting crap about Stephen King's The Dark Tower, which this literally has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Basically, the story of this movie is there are a bunch of deaths on this new, like, skyscraper. And they're really weird. The circumstances surrounding the deaths are weird. And there's about, I think, like 2 or 3 of them when this detective gets called in on the case, which is Michael Moriarty. He talks to the woman who owns the building. She's the one who constructed it and everything, you know. It was her design, blah, 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 which is played by Jen Agutter. Anyways, all the deaths seem to be surrounded by around her and this skyscraper. Basically, come to find out, you know, towards the end, you know, he gets some type of paranormal psychologist in on it to kind of analyze the case and see what his thoughts on it. He brings in like this supposed psychic medium, and they go into the tower to find the woman. But they eventually find out that the woman's ex-husband also died under mysterious circumstances. His body was never recovered or found. Come to find out, the woman killed her husband because she wanted everything he had. Anyways, at the very end, you see the ghost of the husband. He's been causing all the deaths, and he gets revenge on her. The only one who does not die is the cop, the main guy. He's the only one who does not die. That Michael Moriarty. He doesn't die. His character doesn't die. Everybody else dies. Ghost gets his revenge. And the way it happens is, apparently he was buried in the concrete of the building. The wife buried him in the concrete, and then the ghost grabs her and pulls her into the wall and seals her up in there with him. Her body's never found either. That's the end of the movie. This movie was basically a ghost story movie. The story wasn't bad. It was just, the movie is super slow. There's not really hardly any action in it whatsoever. It is more dramatized than anything. I watched it because the story was interesting, but again, like I said, it was really, really slow. It was hard not to fall asleep during this movie just because it was so slow. It was really boring at times. The acting was great. The acting was actually really good. I didn't have a problem with any of the actors. All the actors were really, really good. So the acting's good. It's just, the story's interesting, but it could have been done way better. It wasn't scary at all. It was more of a murder mystery thriller than it was a horror flick, even though it's labeled as horror because it's a ghost story. But again, it was more of a crime murder mystery kind of thing. I really wouldn't recommend it because it was just too damn slow. And for that alone, I give it 2 thumbs down. I'm not kidding you, I nearly fell asleep to this movie. So I give it 2 thumbs down. It really wasn't very good as far as that goes. But if that's your thing, more power to you. That's all I have for you this week. Hopefully you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Again, you know, call these YouTubers out for what they really are. Give Lucas a hard time. I think it'd be funny. Just to tease and mess with him. I like Lucas, I really do. But he, you know, I call BS on his baloney. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. If you have any suggestions, any type of movies you'd like me to review, some gems I might have forgotten, please leave your suggestions down in the comments down below. I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.